Good morning, guys. It's such a nice day out here today. I decided to come outside and actually have my breakfast here. I have been like those bologna. They're not really healthy, but I just folded it up and created like a slider for myself this morning because I'm just kind of lazy. But yeah, I just created something like this, and I'm having some really good pear juice to go with it. And I'm having the time of my life. I just decided to kind of talk with you guys, kind of have a chat about Africans who are in the diaspora, like African parents of children who were born here in the United States, like me. Being born and raised, actually I was born and raised in Italy, lived there for 15 years, and then moved to the United States. And my parents are originally from Ghana, West Africa. And I just kind of wanted to come out here, have a talk with you guys about, children like us. Not children anymore, because I'm not a child anymore. I'm a mom, I'm a parent myself, but I'm the child of my parents. And I kind of wanted to talk about like just our experience and how much in touch or out of touch you are with your country, like with your country of origin, being Ghana. For me, I feel like I've always yearned. Is that the word, yearned? I always wanted to like get closer to my roots. Since my high school days. Prior to my high school days, I was young. I didn't really understand the importance of getting to know much about your culture until high school, where I wanted to learn more about myself and who I was. And I've always yearned to just get closer and closer to my roots. But at the time, they didn't have things like YouTube or just social media that could kind of get you to know more of what's going on over there. All you see is what you see from like the news channels. You hear what people say to you about Africa and so on and so forth. So you don't really know until now that we have YouTube and things where people actually took their leap of faith to like leave the Western world and move back home to Ghana or to any place in West Africa or Africa, just to find their roots and just see how life is like over there. And I just, right now, as I am a mom, I'm a wife, I am a professional, I always think about how and what will life be like if I was to just be there, or at least go there more often and just kind of learn more about my roots and get closer to it. One thing I feel like I've missed, and I think is very important, that parents now, if you have the opportunity, if you have the opportunity and your kids are with you and you know how to speak your native language, make sure that you speak it with your kids as much as possible, or as reasonable, so that they don't get confused, of course, with the English language that they'll be using, or whatever language they use in your country to communicate. Make sure that you use it you speak it with your kids as reasonably as possible, so that they can learn their culture. They can feel more in touch with their culture, and when they meet people from their country, they don't feel so lost. Because I have to tell you, my parents did their best and due diligence to get us or to get me to know about my country, know about my culture. But in Italy, where I was raised, they were kind of lured to believe that if they would speak Twi with us at home, we wouldn't then be able to understand the Italian language or speak the Italian language, as in we would get confused. But not knowing that, when they did not know at the time that when you're a kid, your brain works as a sponge, right? So whether you speak one or two or three languages with kids, they'll end up understanding and picking up all of them. Yes, there might be some confusion here and there as they're speaking, but eventually they'll catch up to it. I really wish that at the time, most Ghanaian parents who were lured into believing that speaking a different language will confuse their children, I wish that they knew this, so that they would have spoken the language with us. Like, I speak Twi and understand it, but if I speak it amongst Ghanaians, they would laugh at me. They will know right away this person is just trying, At a point, I was even shy to do it, because they're almost like you're trying to fit in. You see, you try to speak a language, because Africans too, Ghanaians too, are kind of something. When you're not from there, or you don't live there for a long time, they already put you into a category. So if now you don't really even speak the language, you are really in a different category altogether. And if you're trying to speak it too, you're now trying to assimilate too much. So sometimes I feel like too shy to speak the language because I don't want to be categorized, you know. But lately I got to a point where I'm like, you know what, I don't care what anybody thinks of me. I want to learn to speak the language properly and well enough so that I can communicate in Twi when I go to Ghana. And I do every now and then. It's just that I don't have a lot of Ghanaians around me where I live to speak it with. My husband speaks it very well, but because I don't speak it so well, it's more natural for him to speak English with me so we can communicate easily. But we do try, as anytime we think about it and we remember, to speak Twi and speak it with our children so that they can also pick up at least some words and understand, like it is saying, a yeah, or your friend was saying, things like that, they'll be able to answer. So that's really what I wanted to come out to discuss with you guys. Like, if you are a parent older than us, of course, like, you know, I am just young, I'm just now entering the parenting stage, so I can't really advise you or anything. I know where my place is, but as a child who's experienced living with parents in the diasporas from Ghana that migrated to Europe and to America, this is what I wish I had received in my home. It's just a little bit more of more African influence. Like, let's try to make sure we don't lose our roots, because at the end of the day, you can never really assimilate 100%. You can never be what you are not. You can never be a full American. Like, depending on what your definition of an American is, the people who were here before you, they feel like they're Americans. You see what I'm saying? You are something that they are not. So you need to always remember where you really come from, know where you come from. And one way to do that is to start by speaking the language, learning about your culture, learning about the food. That's how you get to know who you are. So I just want to give this message out there to anybody who thinks that because you're immigrating to another country and because the world makes you think that Africa, wherever you come from, is not up to par to other countries. It doesn't mean that you need to forget where you're from, because greatness to me starts from when you know who you are. And that's part of that, and most of that actually, is knowing where you come from, your roots. That's how you start to build confidence within you, you know. So let's try to love, patronize where we are from. And no matter where you are, don't forget where you're from. Stick to your culture, learn your culture, assimilate within your culture, learn it as you grow. Of course, when you go somewhere, they say do what the Romans do, right? That's true, because you have to do what the people from that country are doing. You can't just do what you want all the time, or you can't just enforce your African culture to a Mexican culture. For instance, if you're in Mexico, you can't do that. But as you are doing what the Romans are doing, don't forget what you are. Don't forget who you are and where you are from. Because when you do that, that's when you become lost in life. And I feel like a lot of us have that, you know, you kind of feel lost. That's why sometimes my husband laughs at me, because I'll be watching YouTube so much about Ghana, people in Ghana, and so on and so forth, because I just want to learn more. I want to hear people speaking my language. I want to see what Ghana looks like. I want to see the simple things that he thinks is simple because he was brought up there and lived there. Things like people on the street selling stuff, that is amazing to me. I just love seeing it, because it's where I'm really from, you know. So just be sure you always instill the importance and the happiness of where you are from. That's really my peace of mind this morning. I mean, you can agree with me that anywhere, especially if you are someone who lives abroad, anywhere that you are, you can't really be them. Even as British as innate sounds that you say, innate, you wanna, you gonna, whatever, however you can speak the language of where you are, you can never really be from that place. no matter what. So it's better you understand who you are, where you're from, and be that, than trying to assimilate so much, right? Oh, an example is, we have a lot of Mexicans in the United States, a lot of people with Hispanic origins. I don't think I've seen a handful of these people from these areas that are trying to get rid of their Hispanic roots. They are proud of it. They speak it. They eat their food. Everywhere they go, you know that that's where they are from. But they don't do it in a way that is disrespectful in the country they live in. They do it in a way that shows that they know where they are from. They know where they are from and they know who they are. They keep their culture. They don't get rid of it. So I think that people like that should be exemplified in our African culture, instead of always idolizing other cultures and trying to assimilate so much because we think ours is not up to par. We need to be something else or close to something else to be accepted in a community. We need to learn from those who keep their cultures and at the same time still respect and still abide by the area that they live in, their rules and regulations. And you see, there is a difference between abiding by rules and regulation of a place that you live in versus changing who you are completely. You see, Africans, that's what they do, change who they are completely to try to assimilate. That's wrong. That's really, really wrong. And we can go on and on and on a rant about that, but that is really the message. Let's not change who we are. Let's be who we are, but yet abide, learn, and follow the rules of regulations of the place where we are. There's nothing different with improving, progressing in life, and so on and so forth. That's different. But what I'm talking about is, you don't need to change what you're eating. You don't need to be shy to take your African food to work because you feel like your fufu and your way. Well, it's a little bit hard to eat fufu outside, but you can, a way to assimilate with that is you can take your spoon and your soup and you eat it. Look at the Filipinos. When they go out and eat, even at their working place. Me, I'm a nurse, and there's a lot of Filipinos in the nursing field. They bring their food from their own country to work. It's whether it's shrimp, whether it's some stinky fish, whether it's what, they don't care. And they like to eat in groups. So if they see other nurses, whether you're Filipino, Mexican, whatever, they'll call you, oh, come and eat, because that's their culture. They bring it to work. That's a way of assimilation, not getting rid of your culture. But we Africans, we are shy that we bring our yam and stew to work, that we bring our rice and our way to school to work, a mutual to work. You don't have to use your hands when you're at work. You can use your spoon. You can pack your soup on one side, pack your mutu on the other side. Why do you have to go and buy other foods if your African food is what you're used to, what you like, and what you love? Or why do you just have to skip your lunch because maybe you don't want to buy food outside because but at the same time you can't bring your own, stuff like, people do that. Trust me, people do that. You can even attest to that. People do that. Write it in comment down below if you know somebody that is doing out, tells you that, so these are some of the things that we need to stop doing. We need to really stop doing. We need to love who we are. We need to love our culture. We need to understand who we are, and of course within that, of course, improve in certain things, improve. Of course, you learn from other cultures, so on and so forth, but in a way to just improve yourself, not change yourself, not erase yourself. You get it? So yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about today. That's all I have for you. I'm gonna enjoy my little simple slider over here with my pear juice in this beautiful weather in my sun. As for me, I don't care if I turn black like charcoal. I stay out here and enjoy it. Sun is happiness. Take care.